Not at me.
I was like, yeah.
Yeah, look at the little green button.
There we go.
Hey, everybody. It's the Canada Connects Coffee with the Geek sessions. With me is Jen Kranenburg. Kranenburg.
Kranenburg.
Okay.
And it is Jen.
Jen Kranenburg. And Jen has a presentation tomorrow, April 27th, and it is called Be a Game Changer. But before we get to that, Jen, tell me a little bit about your background.
I'm an elementary math coach with the Lambton Kent District School Board. So this is the first year in this role for me. And in my role, I go around to different schools that have been identified as needing increased or intensive support by the renewed math strategy. And I spend a week at a time in a school, and I work intensely with three to four teachers per school. So going in and co-planning and teaching and consolidating together and really digging into what their students need and finding ways to integrate different tools into the classroom as well, whether it be hands-on math manipulatives or technology.
So tell me about your presentation for tomorrow. Be a game changer. What is it going to be? Without giving up too much, we want people to come to it.
So it is about a journey that I went through with a group of students. Prior to being a math coach, I taught, I had a grade 2-3 class. The following year was a 3-4 and then a 5-6. So I had the opportunity to have several of those students for 3 years. And we really dug into, I don't know if you would define it as challenge-based or project-based learning. And it's, for me, it's about, not just about equitable access to technology for students. We know that all of our kids need to use technology and develop 21st century competencies and computational thinking. But it's also about how do we open up the world to students who are living in low income homes and who have limited access to life experiences. So, finding ways to connect with our community and to collaborate and really putting the students in the role of creators where they're able to, produce new content. And this group of students had, when I began this journey with them, I really was trying to find a way to make an impact on the students and make a difference. And by the end of it, I found that had happened, but even more so, they had a very lasting impact on their community.
So in your role in a broader sense, you've kind of had that awakening moment where we need to, use some different tools to engage our kids and bring content to life. How do we get, educators or school systems kind of in that mode? Not that some aren't already there, but how do we kind of encourage that process?
I think when I think back to my own journey with that and the feeling of kind of being stuck and disengaged, it was really just having other people in my professional network that were doing innovative things and that kind of gave me permission almost to go ahead and take a risk and try something different. So trusting our own professional judgment and recognizing that we don't have to follow a manual. We are following the curriculum and we're doing what's right for kids. And for me also, like having things like Twitter or coming to conferences like this and having the opportunity to see other educators doing great things, it's really important.
What future projects are you thinking of doing?
Oh, goodness. It's a tough one. I usually come up with these crazy ideas when I'm driving to work last minute, and then these amazing things happen. No, but in all honesty, I know there are some things that I'm interested in. I've been doing a lot of coding with primary and, SK grade 1 students, and that's been a lot of fun and a lot of making. But when it comes to being in the classroom, and this is a 1-year role, my math coach gig, so I'm not sure what will happen for next year just yet. But really, it's about following student voice as well. So some of the greatest projects I have found myself immersed in, I never saw coming. It was just a result of students being interested in something and kind of following their lead based on what was meaningful to their lives. And then me as the teacher finding ways to embed the curriculum into those projects.
Great. All right. Well, now it's the toughest sessions. All right. We've got to do the speed geek questions. I'm going to use an app called Decide, or no, it's Wheel Decide is what it is. Let me take it. Here it is. So, oh no, it's Decide Now. There's so many options. Yeah, I think Wheel Decide is on the computer, but Decide Now is the app. it creates this great little spinning diagram. So I'll let you spin the wheel.
Oh, goodness. All right.
All right. So what is your favorite app?
I'm not single anymore, so I can't say Tinder. I kid. I've had a lot of fun lately with Dash. So I have, in the past, I've used Scratch Junior and Microworlds, and those are all great platforms. But I really just dug into Dash and Dot. So the Wonder apps have been a lot of fun. I also just discovered Google Keep, and I'm pretty excited to dig into that one too. So
Google Keep is a good one for sure.
it is.
All right.
Again.
All right. This is
Oh,
your
boy.
whimsical question, and you can go beyond these, but the question is Star Wars, Star Trek, Harry Potter. What's your whimsy?
I just saw Star Wars, the new one, I think,
Okay.
for the first time like 2 years ago. And I've never watched any of the other ones. So
Really?
Dukes
Wow.
of Hazzard. Can we go with Dukes of Hazzard?
Sure, why not? We'll go with Dukes of Hazzard. So that's a good one. So, all right, favorite
Oh.
tablet. So, and we'll include a Chromebook as a tablet.
Okay.
I know some people don't put it in that category, but we'll go with it.
I do think though, okay, so I would say Chromebook if I had to pick one, but I think that it comes down to apps and platforms and all of these things. There is always a right tool for the job. So most of the time I would say a Chromebook, but there are times where an iPad makes more sense if we want to do some stop animation or do some work with doing. So definitely depends on what we're trying to accomplish.
It's actually a good way to look at it. And I think, when schools do, purchasing of these devices, that should be an element that maybe
Absolutely.
sometimes we don't think about, like, what's the purpose and what are we going to get the most bang for our buck for? And I guess, again, what's the purpose should
Right.
be the first
Yes,
question. not like,
definitely.
what's the price point? What's that? All of those are considerations, but yeah.
Knowing
the
your
purpose
why
is
is
good.
so important in everything, right? So,
Yes.
okay, another one here.
Favorite
Social
social network is the
networks.
question.
So, toss up. Personal life, I like Instagram so I can stalk my teenage daughters. Educational, definitely Twitter. I've made so many great connections on Twitter and come up with some great teaching ideas based on some of the things that I've seen.
Kind of sidebar question off of that. I agree. Twitter is one of my go-to sources for information. And I think when I go and do workshops with teachers, a lot of times I'll ask, how many teachers have a Twitter account? And I would say out of a room of 10 people, I'd say 2 out of the 10 would have used Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
How do you convince teachers to use Twitter?
Well,
Or don't you?
No, I'm not going to say I don't. I do. I think I talk about the connections I make when I go into a classroom and I'm sharing an idea with a teacher. Often I'll pull up my Twitter and I'll show them, this is the post, this is what the person showed. And when I'm sharing work that I've done in schools and talking about student work as well, the teachers like to be included in that conversation. So I do have some that have joined just because they want to see the talk that's happening or they want to dig a little bit further into that resource. So I think it's just sharing with teachers and showing them the benefits and how to use it safely and intentionally as well.
Well, one of the things that I try and tell teachers when we do that first, kind of when I have that conversation with them about Twitter, is that, you don't need to create an account. Just go to Twitter and start searching
Absolutely.
for hashtags. And if you're an elementary teacher, do a hashtag elementary education. You'll be surprised what comes up. In most cases like that, if your hashtag is something specific to you, most of the time you'll find something really good. So start off without the account if you're nervous about the account.
Yeah.
Start there, and I think you'll find that there's a lot of great people out there.
Absolutely.
And maybe go from there. So let's keep rolling.
All right.
This is the toughest one of the bunch. Favorite educational blog.
Yeah, there are a lot of great ones out there. I would have to say my go-to this year has been John Orr. So Mr. Orr is a geek, and he is a secondary math teacher with the Lambton Kent District School Board, and he has a phenomenal blog. He puts out a lot of great ideas and a lot of low floor, high ceiling tasks that even in primary we are able to adapt and use in the classroom. So he's been really great.
And how do you spell that last name? Just for people.
ORR.
Okay.
So it's JON and then
like
ORR.
Bobby Orr, right?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know who that is.
Oh my gosh. You did not hear that. Anybody here? He's a famous hockey player.
Oh, sorry. Okay. I thought maybe it was on Harry Potter.
All right, let's go with one more.
Okay.
Favorite way to unplug?
Concerts. I'm a music junkie, and I love the collective joy that comes out of going to live shows. So I definitely try to go to as many concerts as
Is there
I
a
can.
band or two that you like to follow?
Oh, well, I've
Or
gone.
a singer?
I love Pearl Jam, so I've traveled around to see
nice.
them a couple of times. My highlight in
It's
the
on my
last
bucket
few
list,
years.
by the way.
Oh yeah, I
haven't
went to
been
Chicago to see them. First time I went to Chicago, and last year before, it was amazing. Tragically Hip was one of my highlights as well. I saw their second last concert, and I'm kind of all over the place. I also just saw Lionel Richie, so
Okay, so
yes,
you got
broad
unique music habits.
yes,
That's
definitely.
Good. All right. Well, Jen, thank you. Looking forward to your session tomorrow,
30.
9:30. So, and what was the title again? Was
Be a Game Changer.
Be a Game Changer, and 9:30 to 10:20. So stop out and see it. So, thanks, Jen.
Thank you.
We'll see you around the Canada Connect
Great.
conference.
Thanks.